Let's bring in a guest on this. I'm going to talk now to research analyst at the Foundation for Defence of Democracies, Janatan Sayeh. Good evening, Janatan. Thank you very much for joining me. Right, what do you think is going to happen now, and how important is it that Trump really does take determined and definitive action against Iran soon?
Well, time is of essence right now, but this administration's messaging towards Tehran has been consistent. It has been the same thing prior to the 12-day war. The first option is always a diplomatic move, and if that fails to materialize, then that would legitimize a strike. Now, we're talking about what is left of this nuclear apparatus, of course. The issue has always been enrichment capability, uranium enrichment to be more precise. Now, of course, that has been disrupted, and the achievement of actually destroying the enrichment capacity is something that could have only been obtained through an attack. No deal was able to ever achieve that. Let's be clear on that. But that said, the only remainder of the issue is the enriched uranium that already exists. Now, whether that warrants further legitimizing the Islamic Republic that has killed tens of thousands right now, just for the sake of a few kilos of uranium, given that they don't even have enrichment capacity, that does not make much sense. But that said, that option first needs to be exhausted before they actually move with a kinetic strike. The question is, how far would the strike go if there were to be one? Is it going to be limited on the military apparatus and nuclear, or is it going to go beyond and actually aid the protest movement on the ground by targeting the repression sites that actually kill these unarmed protesters?
How are things in Iran at the moment, Janatan? Are you able to establish, we see some terrible pictures of what appear to be hundreds, thousands of bodies laid out ready for burial. How is everything there?
The scale of brutality, as pointed out, has been really unprecedented. We're talking about up to 30,000 unarmed protesters that were killed by this regime. Listen, this is a point of no return for the Iranian protesters. When I talk to folks on the ground, the idea now is there's no way out but through. So the momentum is still there. Even though the protests may have thinned out because of the brutality, ultimately, Iranians see this as a greater movement. Nothing is back to normal quite yet. And of course, when I was talking to folks on the ground, one of them explicitly told me he is going out right now because President Trump said help is on the way. So we shouldn't underestimate how much messaging towards the Iranian goes. And if there were to be a kinetic strike, it's very important that we effectively communicate that to the public. So a military campaign wouldn't deter protests, but instead would actually bring them out. So that way we wouldn't have to rely on boots on the ground. We could leverage the Iranian momentum on the ground and support, provide them with air support and actually decapitation of the regime that would also allow mid-level to lower-level officials to defect and join the people's movement.
And to Richard's point about the fact that lives may potentially have been lost because Trump gave hope that the arrival of troops was imminent, is there any validity to that, do you think?
Iranians have been dying every day since 1979. This is a regime that has the highest executions per capita, and the trajectory is only on the rise. In 2024, they executed about 975 people. In 2025, it was about 1,500 people, and that doesn't even count how many people they kill on the protest during protest wave or extrajudicial killings.